So hi everyone, welcome to the CoinMarketCap and Sandbox workshop for the Encode Hack the System hackathon. Today we're going to be having a quick presentation on the CoinMarketCap challenges and prizes, and then moving on to the Sandbox workshop and kind of information about their challenges and prizes as well. So thank you very much for joining us this evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you're based. I've just put some links in the chat as well to the Discord and the new submissions article, so check those out if you're kind of interested in that aspect of the hackathon. And obviously this event will be recorded and put on YouTube, so hi to everyone watching on the YouTube channel. So to get started, on the CoinMarketCap front, the CoinMarketCap challenge is to build an index product based application. So they want you to use CoinMarketCap data points. They have some APIs that you can kind of connect to, and they've also offered to upgrade the API accounts of any participants in the hackathon. So if you need kind of a higher call limit, I would say send me a message on Discord or via email. I'll put my email in the chat now as well. So if you need your account upgraded because you're building it in this challenge, then please send me a message or an email and we can make sure that your account gets upgraded there as well. And yeah, so they want the dApp to have working smart contracts and a front and back end. It must use the CoinMarketCap data as a core part of the index design. So you could look at a price-based one, a volume-based one, a market cap weight-based one, or whatever you imagine brings you to. It could be to do with NFTs, DeFi, however you want to get creative. And so in terms of the prizes for the CoinMarketCap challenge, the top prize is $3,000, second prize is $1,500, and the third prize is $1,000 for the first, second, and best dApps, respectively. So in terms of documentation they've provided, so here's a link to the kind of about CoinMarketCap section. So if you would like to learn more about CoinMarketCap, here's the actual CoinMarketCap price data and kind of homepage that a lot of traders do use, and then the API documentation which you can use to get involved with the challenge is there, and all these links will be in the Discord, YouTube description as well, and on the Medium article. So feel free to take a look there as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the kind of the front with CoinMarketCap. Apologies again that we can't have a speaker here from CoinMarketCap. But again, if you have any questions at all about the CoinMarketCap challenge, do get in touch with me or post in the CoinMarketCap Discord channel. There's representatives from CoinMarketCap there. And throughout the session, if you have any questions for myself or for the people from the Sandbox, please put them in chat and we'll hopefully get to them by the end of the session. Awesome. So Marcus, do we have Sebastien in the call yet at all?
So hello everyone. Sebastien is not yet. I don't see him in the list yet. I will ping him in parallel. However, in the meantime, I can already start on the presentation. We did a brief introduction deck on what we are, what we're doing, what we're working on, and I would give the hand over to Sebastien on a more technical side.
That sounds great.
But other than that, we are good to go.
Fantastic. Just popping a link in the chat, everyone, as well, to the whole challenge spreadsheet. So you can see there the Sandbox challenges and the CoinMarketCap challenges, and the links to all the documentation are there as well. Do you have the ability to share your screen, Marcus?
I will try. I will tell you in 1 second. No, you would have to give me the rights.
Okay, let me just sort that for you. I think we have Sebastien on the call as well. So
hello. Yes, hi everyone.
There we go. Hi Sebastien, how's it going?
Well, great, thanks.
Fantastic. Love the background as well. Very,
very
bright. Very good. Oh, and the t-shirt, he's got it all.
Yes, obviously. And
Very
it's
nice.
hot, it's getting warm. Even still spring started.
For sure. Cool. We'll have to get some Encode Club merch as well for the future. Yeah, Jake appreciates the marketing. I'm sure that was Marcus's doing as well.
All right. So it seems like CoinMarketCap was not able to make it, right? So I understood we have more time on our side.
For sure, yeah. Unfortunately, I've given a kind of an overview of the CoinMarketCap challenge and what they want people to build. But for now, it's over to you guys. And I've told people any questions, we'll put them in the chat and we'll hopefully address those at the end. But yeah, excited to see what you can do. Let me just allow you to...
Fantastic. So if I can screen share soon, yeah, I'll be able to present.
Sorry, I'm just getting that sorted. There we go. That should give you the ability.
Excellent.
Is that working for you?
It is. It is.
Perfect.
Here. Can you see full screen?
Yeah, all good for me.
Excellent. All right. So, well, thank you everyone for being with us today for this Encode Club workshop. I'm going to start with an introduction about what is the Sandbox. For those of you who are not familiar, we'll be looking at the gaming virtual world we've created, all the different use case of NFTs that it enables to interact with, then also the concrete application of blockchain, what we've done already in the space of Ethereum blockchain development on our gaming virtual world. And then we'll have open discussion on some of the use case we are looking for this workshop, or like what we encourage you to create. And we're excited to see being built on top of our ecosystem. My name is Sebastien Borget. I'm the COO and co-founder of the Sandbox. I'm 36 years old. It's been 14 years now that I've been an entrepreneur. Sandbox is my fourth company. Before, I was involved in also pioneer technology companies. The first one was around peer-to-peer technology, BitTorrent. The second was that it got acquired by CDN Network. The second was into sharing photo, video, and music online in the cloud before the cloud exists, or was called the cloud. That also was acquired. And lastly, I was one of the first mobile games free-to-play studios that used UGC and brands that also got acquired in 2018. So now let's move into Sandbox. Sandbox, it's a metaverse where you'll be able to connect with other users, create content, play, monetize. So what is the Sandbox metaverse? The metaverse is this concept that you can have an online existence, an online presence in virtual worlds where you'll be able to perform activities. These activities could be chatting, interacting with other users, could be working, could be playing, could be also attending virtual events, virtual concerts. So it could be a lot of different things like we probably have seen in the movie Ready Player One or the book from Snow Crash from Steve Patterson. And in the Sandbox metaverse, which is a virtual world, we're essentially starting from the content approach, enabling with creation tool users to make their own content, user-generated content at the center, or work with premium content, which I'll describe as the first layer of this metaverse, the first layer of the economy that surrounds this metaverse. In this metaverse, users will have their own avatar, this avatar being an NFT that will represent your identity, who you are in the metaverse. That can also own items through NFTs, represent different wearables, etc. With this avatar, you'll be able to play through many experiences across the virtual world. You'll be able to meet and socialize with other users, interact, participate in games, potentially earn a revenue stream through those activities in the virtual world. You'll be also able to connect. How do you connect the real physical world and the virtual world? We think that you do so by your social relationship, the friendship you build both online and in the physical world. Also with culture, essentially. So culture, bringing the brands, IPs from the physical world that you're already familiar with and giving them an online presence where for the first time, you'll be also able to use their, to own as NFT the content and use this content to create your own stories, your own adventures, experience as well. So that's something we've been doing with various brands, including the Smurf, Atari, Care Bears, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Shaun the Sheep, and we're about to announce a few more. All of this, it's an open metaverse, decentralized, with a governance built using open standards and protocols. So Ethereum blockchain, NFTs, ERC 721, ERC 1155. And that metaverse is governed by the users through the ownership of the token, the utility token of the platform. That metaverse is built on an economical layer where the assets, the data of the users belongs to them. And as such, it enables to create a true digital economy where the users can make decisions and the users can actually earn from the time they dedicate to the platform, or earn through, be rewarded through the contribution they bring to the platform as well. That contribution can take several forms. You can be an architect of the virtual world. You can be a designer who's creating virtual fashion for the avatars of the users. You can be just a guide, person that's going to be coaching other users through the world, be a curator. Your role will be to discover what's great on the platform to help other users, saving them time by picking the right content, presenting it to the other users, etc. Like, the possibilities are just limitless. Let me walk through a little bit what's our background as a company. So as I mentioned, I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my first company. The Sandbox franchise exists now for close to a decade. Started initially on mobile, on iOS and Android, where we have generated more than 40 million installs to date. That mobile game had a very simple promise. That promise being like, you could just with a touch of your finger create any world, dropping pixels that represent water, soil, trees, characters, stuff. Share that creation to an online gallery for other people to play what you created. It turned out into a huge success. But even though it was a huge success, we still had one thing that we believe has always been unfair. It was the fact that the success of the game came essentially from all the content that the community, the creators made and shared. We had 70 million creation. Without that content, we would not have more people, more players coming to try and play and all the viral effect behind. Still, on those platforms, we had no way to reward the users for the content they brought and the contribution to the success, economical success, download, etc. of the project, because we were on centralized platform and we had to abide to certain rules in terms of like how revenue could be shared and what we could do with that. So toward the end of 2017, when we saw the NFT appear essentially with CryptoPunk and CryptoKitties, we immediately saw the potential of applying the technology instead of doing it with virtual cats, doing it with any content made by users. Essentially, keeping our promise, we want to turn any player into a creator, and by letting them create their NFT, and be able to own the content they create and monetize them in the way they want. Could be transferring it to other users, selling it on the marketplace, using it in our game maker, potentially using it on other dApps as well, thanks to the benefit of interoperability. And so it's been now 3 years that we're creating this version of Sandbox as a new version, 3D, multiplayer, multi-platform, and decentralized using the blockchain technology behind. The core team of Sandbox is essentially the same as when we started the mobile version. We have key members with 10 to 15 years of experience building the game. The original creator of Sandbox, because it's a one-man story initially, is still with us, being heavily involved on the project. And we have also in our blockchain team, Ronan Sanford, one of the lead blockchain, our lead blockchain architect, and one of the main co-creator of ERC 1155, as well as other meta transaction, etc. The Sandbox team today is close to 100 people around the world. We have about 40 in Argentina, 20 in France, 3 in Korea, 1 in Japan, 1 in China, and then scattered around the world. So very decentralized, as you can see. In the Sandbox virtual world, we're essentially building tools for allowing users to create content very easily. Then they can play with the content they create. So we have 4 main tools. The first one is called VoxEdit. It's an editor, free editor you can download on PC and Mac that allows you to animate your creation in voxels. Voxels being sort of like 3D pixel digital Legos, very simple, very accessible, but still, if you assemble them, you can go to very level of detail. It can be real craftsmanship because it can take literally hours, days of work, and hence you can value the work. Like Legos, you can make very simple. You can build. It can take months to build replicas in Lego that people visit around the world and museum, and you appreciate the value of the work behind to create those. And that tool, VoxEdit, allows you to make your own 3D model, export them as NFTs on our marketplace, where users can start selling, trading them, exchanging them with each other, and using them with the Game Maker. The Game Maker, which is our third tool. It's a no-code, no programming required software. You install it, and you can start creating your game just by drag and dropping your NFTs inside it. They come with behaviors. We have very simple systems to change components and values so that you can create within minutes your own games, whether an RPG, a platformer. It involves quests, victories, timers, narrative stories, etc. We even encourage users to participate through game jams and have already dozens, if not hundreds, of submissions for them. And the last part is the game client. The game client is not yet launched, so all the previous tools I mentioned have been launched for now over a year, sometimes 2. But the game client is coming later this year. We started to tease it. We hope it will be live in May. And it will essentially allow anyone to join with their avatar, socialize and interact with other users, explore that virtual world using our transportation system, collect rewards based on their progression, turn those rewards into potentially revenue. As they are NFTs, they are tokens that they can choose to collect, keep, or sell. And something really unique as we are building the Sandbox, as I mentioned before, is the fact that we are involving IPs and brands, which provide a higher, deeper level of connection for the fans and higher level of engagement and entertainment. So that's the idea of Sandbox. You're here, you own your content, you own your data, you own your avatar. This avatar is persistent. You can use him to play across all sorts of different experiences. You own lands where the games are being published. So we have a physical map that I'll explain that whether all the games are published. And you're engaging with play to earn loop where as a creator, as a player, as a sand owner, as a landowner, as a curator, sometimes all of these roles, sometimes just one of those roles, you have always a reward for your contribution in the ecosystem. Something unique with Sandbox, again, is the fact that we have all those IPs and brands involved. That includes Square Enix, Care Bear, Smurfs on the Ship, Formula One. So it can be family-friendly entertainment brands, games IPs, sport IPs, sport clubs, celebrities, DJ, music. All of them coming together into our virtual world makes that it's going to be very diverse, very fun, very engaging. And I think that's something quite unique. We've raised funds, so we've backed by some of the smartest people, smartest investors in the space, both involved into blockchain or traditional funds. They are, some of them are pioneers in their space, like Yatsu, the co-founder of Animoca brand, or Mick Nyam, who is the co-founder of CryptoKitties, and now at Flow, which launched NBA Top Shot. I think brands and partners is the kind of content they are going to build through our virtual worlds, theme park that we have combined several of their IPs, museum, art galleries, games. The possibilities are limitless. Now, I'd like to focus more on the NFT market because Sandbox is an NFT metaverse. What does it? So for those of you who are not yet familiar with NFTs, I'm going to walk through what they are. So here you can see some of the key numbers. Recently, we just passed over $1 billion of traded volume of all the NFTs. Back in December, we were at $500 million, so the number has started to increase really largely. And here are some of the most valuable NFTs by categories, whether it's collectible, CryptoPunks sold for $7.5 million, art, people sold this amazing picture, high resolution, Holly's work, months, years of work into that image for $69 million. And NBA Top Shot, more like a sport collectible that's being sold as well for some high price for the most collector one. Non-fungible tokens, what are their characteristics essentially? It's very simple. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are fungible. One Bitcoin and another Bitcoin, they are essentially the same. They have the same value. They can be exchanged at the same value. But non-fungible token, they are not interchangeable. If I have a gold swirl and a silver swirl, they are two different unique tokens with a different ID, different characteristics, different aesthetics. They are also indivisible, so I cannot have like 0.0001 up to 18 decimal of that word. And but they can have, if we use here 755 standard that we're talking about, they can have more than one copy. So it's either 0, 1, or many. What are the benefits of using NFTs? Essentially, the ownership. I think that's the first primary benefits that's very powerful for all players, creators already, specifically considering like the free-to-play gaming industry, which has been monetizing for close to 10 years now, only on 3% of top of the player, and any of the purchase that those users made were never truly theirs, so more of a renting system. The fact that it's secure and immutable, in a sense like there's a public transparent ledger where you have the track record of the ownership of those assets, as well as the capacity to have the notion of digital scarcity. So the number of the supply of those tokens, those unique NFTs, is there, and you can see who created it, how many people own it, what the remaining supply, all those transactions. That was the main requirement to have possibly collectible, and the notion of like when a game developer or an entity tells me that there's only 100 copies in the world of that, yes, I can prove it. So finally, I'm sure that I know which number I own and what's the value behind. Finally, one very powerful application is also cross-application interoperability, and that's something I hope with this workshop will be encouraging. How can we create more use case, more application for NFTs on Sandbox platform and develop an ecosystem on top of that? The most popular NFT in Sandbox at the moment, by far, are lands. So we have a map composed of 464 lands in total that we've been releasing progressively over time. So to date, we've sold about 45% of those lands, and each land is a unique NFT with location. They come in different sizes. So the larger lands, which are groupings of lands, like 3x3 is 9 lands grouped together, have the capacity to have an image displayed on top of them, which reinforce the notion of ownership. Because owning a token that you didn't design yourself, how do you say it's really yours? Yes, it is because it is in my wallet. But once you put that image that you choose as a creator, that as a user, sorry, that you get the feeling that, yes, I customize it, it's really mine now. Additionally, those lands with their logos on the map, they are behaving like landmarks. So people like to own lands next to other land that they feel are of high value, like it could be game studios like Atari, it could be different brands, Binance, CoinMarketCap. We have many different MetaMask, Sandbox Network, as you can see on this picture. The other categories of NFTs in Sandbox, beyond virtual real estate, virtual land that serve to publish your creation and can be rented afterward, are in-game assets. So they are made by users. They're going to represent weapons, power-up, vehicle, decoration, characters, NPC, enemies, etc. that you will be using to put into your game experience made with game creator. Collectible could be art, could be different things. Art displayed, wearables, and equipment. We're going to see them right after. Before that, I want to share just some quick metrics where we are. Even though we are not yet fully publicly launched, we've grown a large community, which we're really proud of, because it's one of, I believe, the most welcoming communities that's been training other users about how to create games, how to create art, how to make your first NFTs, how to become involved into the space. And as such, we have more than 180,000 user accounts with a wallet already connected on our website and an avatar. We have 5,600 unique landowner, which is, as of now, as of today, the largest number of landowner into a decentralized virtual world, which means that there is not a strong concentration of the land into the hands of very few people. There's a large distribution of lands into many people's hands that will create very diverse experience in our world. And we have a great presence, as I mentioned, our community is large across different social networks. One thing I want to jump quickly and I will not spend too much time about Sand token, the main utility token of the platform, but it essentially serves as a medium of exchange to acquire the different NFT on the platform, such as land or the asset made by the users. It's also a token for governance. So by owning Sand, you will be able to participate in the DAO that will be put in place, enabling you to vote, taking decisions that will affect the future of the roadmap, future of the virtual world, future of the variables of the network, like different transaction fees, etc. And staking. So by owning token and staking them, you can influence specific decision, you can attract more users into certain land, etc. Sand that we collect from the sale of NFTs or as part of marketplace transaction fees is actually being redistributed via 50% goes into the foundation, and that foundation is here to support the community again of players, creators, investors, offering creator fund, so supporting artists and game makers to build more content in the land, hence attracting more users again. So it creates a healthy circle. Play to earn price, so players who come, spend time, they will receive a reward, and as such, they can transfer, collect, keep those rewards, exchange them with other users, sell them on marketplaces, or support the staking as well, which is also interesting, possibly if you're not a player or creator. Now, going deeper into the different NFT use case on our platform, I already talked about the different type of NFTs that we have in Sandbox. We have also avatar, fashion, NFT collectible, branded apparel, music, subscription, anything can be an NFT at the end of the day. And as such, here you can see an example of some of the game assets in Sandbox, some of the equipment that you buy, and they will affect the attributes of your avatar, giving it more speed, more attack, more defense. And as such, you can use it to improve your skills in game. Wearables, they are purely aesthetic, but they are going to define who you are and how you look like in our social hubs. And as we're in the metaverse, the question of identity is quite interesting, because how do you define who you are in the virtual world? It's not where you're from, who you're born, but it's more like how you look like, what asset, what NFTs you've bought, not just in Sandbox, but in general, like with your wallet, what is the history of purchase of NFTs of your wallet? When did you start? Did you buy this NFT from this special artist? You did, so we are part of the same community. Me as well, I bought it, I love that drop, I love that collection. And so it creates connection. It defines which member, which community, which group you are part from. So I do believe it's also quite interesting, a concept that can go pretty far with. Art type of NFTs as well, very interesting, very limited copies are here for display. And I have a video here that shows one of our tools in action. How do you create simply an NFT? You can see it pretty simple. You design, you draw your model with Voxelite, you follow the template so they can come and be animated. Hey, here, say hi and have a little dance. You just export it to the marketplace. You define if it's a new asset or it's going to replace. You fill up the metadata with a title, description, define which behavior it will have in the game maker. And then from the dashboard, you're here ready to mint and publish it on the blockchain. It's that simple. Then you can put that asset for sale, and other users defining the amount of copies to sell, the price per copy, it will appear on the marketplace, and other users can acquire it that way. This is a screenshot of our marketplace live, which we launched earlier this week. Actually, last 2 days, we've had a fantastic launch. Within less than 24 hours, we had more than 1,400 unique transactions, assets being uploaded by more than 46 artists that publish about 100 assets. So each one sold a certain number of copies. It's already a great experience. How are we enabling play to earn on the platform with the use of NFTs? Well, we have a season pass that we're going to introduce soon. This season pass will allow you to continue playing, come back for play. If I'm a user, why do I keep coming back to a virtual world? That's an essential question. There are virtual worlds. There are many, like Minecraft, Roblox, the Facebook Realms, Decentraland, CryptoVoxel, etc. You visit them. Sometimes you come, there's an activity, there's an event, but what else? What can you do else when there's no activity, no event? That's an issue we found, and that's something we are trying to address by making sure that there's always something that drives you back in Sandbox. That one of the features is going to be the season pass, where you'll be able to continue progressing, exploring worlds, exploring games that you can play alone, or social hubs that you're here to interact with other users. And by doing so, you'll be able to claim reward. So you feel a good incentive. Oops, my bad. Those type of rewards you can get, again, all of them are NFTs. They are going to be yours in your wallet, and they can be used. So depending on how far you went into the progression, you can claim more and more reward until the last level of the season pass with the highest reward, which would be the sand. NFT wearables. So you'll be able to, via an avatar creator, pick different body part, change your color scheme, change your hair color, etc. And also access uniquely designed wearables that can be help you to make your identity, your appearance very unique. Sometimes people know that, oh, there was only one copy of that super hat, like this red top hat. So you're so lucky, you're the one that got it. I know you now. Collections, it's something that will be launched in the future on our marketplace that will give an extra layer of curation on top of the content by regrouping it based on certain thematic or IPs. The inventory, so you buy an NFT on the marketplace, you connect them with your avatar into the game, and you can see those NFTs again into the game. Even though those are two different applications, we connect it with an API on the backend, and so you can use the NFT. That's something in Sandbox, which, as you saw, we have different type of NFTs. The gaming NFTs in Sandbox have a real utility behind. That utility is the fact that you can play with your NFTs. You can create games with your NFTs. So they are normally not here just to sit and sleep in the wallet, waiting to be maybe one day seen again. They are here because they provide a clear benefit to you as a user, for example, as equipment. Finally, because we are an open metaverse, we want users to be able to import the NFTs they acquire on other platforms and display them. That's the first step. Then we'll have more utilities, but the first step is just display them, show that, yes, in the game, I can bring not just NFTs from Sandbox, but I can bring any sort of NFTs by copy pasting a link from OpenSea. Let's move on to the technical aspects of the Sandbox platform. So we have made all our smart contracts and source code open source on GitHub. Those smart contracts, the documentation, it includes our ERC20 token sand, the current implementation for meta transaction and our research contribution to the IP 1776. The asset contract, which is a dual ERC 1155, ERC 721 token, the land token, which is ERC 721, some of our marketplace feature, and some research we've done into curating content to prevent people from uploading copycats or content that infringe the rights of users or creators. The different token standards in Sandbox, ERC20 is being used essentially for Sand, and other tokens that we haven't yet fully introduced, but we have included in our design. ERC 721 is used for game, land, and estate, and ERC 1155 for assets. So here you have some of the definition of those different type of token. I've already mentioned them before, so we'll not go too far. And below on this image, you can see the different name of the smart contract that interact with this token, like the fee receiver, the fee lock, the meta transaction, the reward pool, the land sale contract, the game minter, the asset minter, the asset sale, the asset upgrader, the asset migration, and the attribute registry. So each smart contract is pretty well segmented by the use case behind for the user. And here is a graph that shows how users are going to interact with those smart contracts. If I'm a landowner, I'm probably for now going to buy land during land sale. So I use this contract. But soon, and that's something that we're exploring, we want to enable more use cases. I'm a landowner, I can rent our land. So I will need a smart contract to rent land that will typically allow to access a land without having the ownership of that land in exchange of a certain fee. I can potentially fractionalize that land to decide that I can give out a small portion of it, or we can create different use case behind. Same for, as an artist, I can mint asset, I can sell asset. As an asset owner, I can sell the asset I bought from other artists. I can upgrade the asset I bought to give them even more better attributes. As a creator, I can mint my game that contains asset inside, so it's locking contract, or I can publish that game on the land and start earning sand for it. We co-created the ERC 1155 standard together with Engine and Horizon Games. With this main goal, how do we make more efficient use of blockchain, specifically for gaming? Typically in gaming, you do not have just one word, one character, etc. Sometimes you have 100, 10 million. The number of copies per asset is larger. So we develop a token that is fungible, that has metadata, and hence enabled to have multiple unique items with just one single smart contract and one token, even if there's millions of copies for it. And the main addition of Sandbox to that contract was to make sure that it will be fully backward compatible with ERC 721 to the point that it could be even extracted from it. We also added features to enable batch transfer, so reducing the use of gas fees and the blockchain, having more efficiency since you could group several ERC 1155 and transfer them in one go. Our asset contract also has something unique. You know that when you buy an NFT, what do you own concretely? You have the proof of the ownership, but many people say, yes, but the content of the NFT, if it, what is it? It's just metadata. That metadata can be text, can be links to other files, 3D files, image, etc. But very rarely the image itself it's just stored on blockchain because it's heavy, so it's not efficient for that purpose. So many projects, they just encode the URL that will be the visual representation of the NFT. And what happened when, for whatever reason, the storage to which this URL was pointing to goes down, you lose your content, the NFT shows nothing anymore. It has already happened, unfortunately. One thing we've done that's unique in Sandbox, so we have multiple backup URL on both web and IPFS, but also we encode in the NFT the URL so that it cannot be altered, replaced, and we have the proof of that content into the NFT. Other smart contracts have been audited, sometimes by one, sometimes by two security companies. So we are trying to make sure that we follow the best standard, that we didn't forget anything, so that when people are going to fork our project for their own, hopefully they will not fork with bug and security issues. We've launched our marketplace earlier. So usually to interact with smart contract, you need front end and back end. So also part of the workshop could be to not just create a smart contract, but create a whole interface for users to interact with a smart contract and in a very user-friendly way. As I mentioned, I'll skip those parts, but those shows like how to upgrade an NFT, how to mint an NFT, how to buy an NFT before, and the different flows for it. The land contract as well. So some technical information about our land contract. It also supports batch transfer. So users could buy an estate of 24 by 24. That's 576 unique token. And it's only one transaction. It's not 576. So it's pretty efficient. We've been using quad trees to optimize the transfer of group blocks and calculate coordinate and make sure like they're always consistent on our map. And as you can see here on the smart contract function, it's pretty simple as such to mint and transfer land of various sizes. Our challenge today, what we are looking for, is to build an NFT-based app that will be enhancing the Sandbox ecosystem. This app should have a working smart contract, but also, as I was mentioning, a front end and back end that will allow users very easily to interact with. It must use one of the NFTs that's part of the Sandbox ecosystem, whether it's land or asset. And well, some of the potential direction, and after I think we'll be jumping into Q&A, we're looking at innovation that enhances the interaction with the NFT inside our metaverse. So it can be for the benefits of not only the virtual world and metaverse, but it could be also benefits that integrate with other dApps outside of it. We've seen, so no need, we see in the ecosystem already some projects like NFT which accept lands as a collateral to give a loan. For example, we've seen projects that accept lands as a way to fractionalize lands to create more liquidity, etc. So those are existing use cases. We're looking at more innovative use case. I mean like 2021 and future new use case that you can think of. New ways to create a new layer of game that's not the game with a 3D avatar potentially, but could be a meta game with your NFTs. Could be the more NFT you buy on the marketplace, the more you unlock certain rewards, typically, why not? And all new NFT-based use case for user and brands in the metaverse. So that's it. I wish you all good luck. I hope that my presentation was clear and that you will be able to find all the information you want about the Sandbox and the NFTs. We have a Git book, we have the GitHub. All our smart contracts are normally documented, but if there's any extra question, we remain available. So you can reach me out by email. You can join our Telegram or Discord as well, where we have a fantastic community who will try the best to help you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sebastien. That's a really good overview of Sandbox, and I'm very excited to see it fully launched, hopefully soon, and get to play on it as well. It's definitely something I would love to get involved with. But yeah, thank you very much. We've had some questions in the chat throughout, so I'll scroll through, read those out for you there. So Jake was just saying that he used to play Sandbox a few years ago. I didn't realize it was you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, and he says, so how does Sandbox differ to other metaverses such as Decentraland, and what are your thoughts on these similarly kind of experimental projects?
That's a great question. There are many decentralized world and metaverse, and it's great. Like, we really support CryptoVoxel, Somnium Space, Decentraland. It's great to have so much diversity. One of the difference, I'd say, in Sandbox is we've been focusing more around gaming, like how do we apply that the activities that you do inside your land are more focused. Like I play a game, there's a victory condition, I have quests, I have dialogues, narrative. So that's the direction we took. Second big difference is the fact that we involve IPs and brands. So you can already play with NFTs from Care Bear, Smurf, Atari in Sandbox and create your own stories with them. Third is, I would say, the way we designed the map. Decentraland started with selling their map 100% right away. So now there's no way for you new entrants to acquire lands, and hence it might be a barrier to entry for people who didn't know about Decentraland 3 years ago and now are interested in it only now. In Sandbox, the land, we've sold about 45%, so there's still 55% of the map that's to be revealed, that we are planning to sell until the end of December 2022. And that can be maybe an idea, like how are we going to reveal that map? Like we didn't define any specific rule at which speed, how does the engagement of the user with the NFTs or the gameplay is affecting the release of the map typically. So that may be an open idea for you.
Awesome, thank you very much for that. Peter has asked, is there any land for sale in the shop right now at all?
There is, so there are always land for sale on the secondary market, but the primary market, we do have waves. So the last one was the end of February. Yes, end of February. The next one, we're going to announce it very soon. So next week you have the official date and where you'll be located, who are the partners, etc. Similarly, we didn't define a set rule on like when. So maybe it can be a community goal when users have completed a certain number of actions with the NFTs, collected certain NFTs, etc. Like we announce when is the next wave, we can choose where it will be, etc.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to define it. And Jake kind of mentioned that, yeah, and kind of the way that Decentraland did their land emissions has created a huge barrier to entry for people who want to kind of get involved there at the moment. So we'll see if they do anything to change and rectify that at all. So Peter's also asked, so is the incentive for a game maker to buy assets is that they get part of the season pass income?
So that's an interesting question. If you're not a player, but you're you're a creator, can you get access to a certain revenue stream? That's we could imagine typically some sort of like duty or tax when people play in your land, and they won a certain part of the reward through passing through your land, that they could get a percentage of the income. Now the big question is like NFTs are not fractional liquid items. So how do you divide if one player earns one sword, how do you divide that among the different lands he's went through?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm fairly sure we'll see some innovation around fractionalizing NFTs in the near future. I've seen I kept my eye on a few projects already, but a lot of cool things happening in that space as well. And Paolo asks, is it possible to import pictures or digital images to the Sandbox NFT market? So
it's going to be possible very soon. That was one of the features I presented right before, where you put like an OpenSea URL and be able to display them inside your lens.
Fantastic. And do you have any idea when that functionality might be in? Is it?
Yeah,
hackathon?
Hopefully, yes, it should be around the middle of April.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, gives people a few weeks to perhaps integrate that into their projects as well.
Exactly.
Okay. Fantastic. I think that is all of the questions that we have in the chat. And so thank you very much again, Sebastien, and for Marcus for setting this up as well, for the fantastic presentation. I'm sure this is going to be a very popular challenge, especially given the fantastic prizes that you've got on offer. And it's quite a fun challenge as well, I feel, particularly for those who are gamers or designers and want to get involved in this very cool ecosystem. So thank you very much. And
thank you.
Thanks to everyone for coming to the workshop tonight. And this is, as I mentioned, the last workshop of the kind of learning phase for Hack the System. And now we're fully into the building phase. So get building. The kind of submission guide is now published. I'll put the link to the chat as well. now, and I did link the Sandbox website, Gitbook, and kind of Medium article explaining everything about it. So feel free to check those out as well. But have a great evening, everyone, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and thanks again to the Sandbox team.
Bye, everyone. Good luck.